Are you preparing for your job interview? If yes is the answer, then this video will be of a great help to you. Because in this video, I'm going to give you some important tips for successful interviews. In this video, I will explain you the main points that you should follow before going to an interview. So let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is to do some research about the company you are going to give the interview and the industry to which this particular company belongs to. Because an interviewer may ask how you perceive his company's position in the industry, who the firm's competitors are, what its competitive advantages are, and how it should go forward. Here you should avoid to research a dozen different industries. Just try to focus on the few industries you are looking to get a job in. Otherwise, you might get confused, and that will not be a good thing for your interview. Second point that you have to keep in your mind is line up your questions for the interview. Come to the interview with some intelligent questions for the interviewer that demonstrates your knowledge of the company as well as your serious intent. Interviewers always ask if you have any questions, and no matter what, you should have one or two ready. If you say no, not really, he or she may conclude that you are not at all that interested in the job or the company. A good all-purpose question is, if you could design the ideal candidate for this position from the ground up, what would he or she be like? If you're having a series of interviews with the same company, you can use some of your prepared questions with each person you meet. Get ready for the interview well in advance. Don't wait till the last minute to pick out an interview outfit. Print extra copies of your resume and find a notepad and pen for note-taking. Have one good interview outfit ready so that you could attend an interview on short notice without having to worry about what to wear. When you have an interview lined up, get everything ready the night before. Plan out everything, like from what shoes you will wear, to how you'll style your hair, to what time you will leave, and how you will get there. By some time in the morning, it will help you to reduce anxiety. Make sure your interview attire is neat, tidy, and appropriate for the type of the firm you're going to give interview. Have appropriate body language. Dress appropriately. Make eye contact. Give a firm handshake. Have a good posture. Speak clearly. And don't wear perfume. Sometimes interview locations are little congested. That may lack a good air circulation. You want the interviewer paying attention to your job qualification, not passing out because you have come in wearing some high fragrance perfume. Try to stay calm. During the job interview, try to be relaxed and stay as calm as possible. Remember that your body language says as much about you as your answers to the questions. Proper preparation will allow you to exude confidence. As you answer questions, maintain eye contact with the interviewer. Be sure to pay attention to the question so that you don't forget it. And listen the entire question before you start answering so that you can know exactly what the interviewer is asking. Avoid interrupting the interviewer at any cost, especially when he or she is asking questions. If you need to take a moment to think about your answer, that's totally fine and is a better option than starting out with multiple uhs. Next thing is to develop a connection with the interview. In addition to indicating what you know about the company, you should also try to develop a connection with your interviewer. Know the interviewer's name and use it during the job interview. If you're not sure of the name, call and ask prior to the interview. And Listen very carefully during introductions. If you are prone to forgetting names, just write it down somewhere discreet, like in small letters at the bottom of your notepad. Because sometimes people tend to hire candidates they like and who seems to be fit for the company's culture. Anticipate the interviewer's concern and reservations. There are always more candidates than the vacancy. So interviewers look for ways to screen people out. Put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself why they might not want to hire you. Like, I don't have this, I'm not that, etc. Then prepare your defense. Like, I know you may be thinking that I might not be the best fit for this position because, and then the reason you want to give to satisfy your interviewer. Clarify your selling points and the reasons you want that particular job. Attend every interview with 3 to 5 key selling points in mind, such as what makes you the best candidate for the position. Have an example of each selling point prepared, like, I have good communication skills. For example, I persuaded an entire group to something, and then your example. And be prepared to tell the interviewer why you want that job, including what interests you about it, what rewards it offers that you find valuable, and what abilities it requires that you possess. If an interviewer doesn't think that you're really interested in that job, he or she won't give you an offer, no matter how good you are, and that you surely don't want. Score the success in first 5 minutes. Some studies indicate that interviews make up their mind about the candidate in first 5 minutes of the interview, and then spend the rest of the interview looking for things to confirm that decision. So what can you do in those 5 minutes to get through the gate? Come in with energy and enthusiasm and express your appreciation for the interviewer's time. Remember that he or she may be seeing a lot of other candidates that day and may be tired from the flight, so bring in that energy. Also, start off with a positive comment about the company. Something like, I've really been looking forward to this meeting, not interview. I think the company is doing great work in a particular field or project, and I'm really excited by the prospect of being able to contribute. Get on the same side as the interviewer. Many interviews view job interviews as adversarial. Candidates are going to try to pry an offer out of the interview, and the interviewer's job is to hold on to it, and your job is to transform this tug of war into a relationship in which you are both on the same side. Be confident and take responsibility for the interview. To be extra polite, some assertive candidates become overly passive during job interviews. But politeness doesn't equal passivity. An interview is like any other conversation. It's a dance in which you and a partner move together, both responding to others. Don't make the mistake of just sitting there waiting for the interviewer to ask you about the Nobel Prize you won. It's your responsibility to make sure he walks away knowing your key selling points. Be ready to handle illegal and inappropriate questions. Interview questions about your race, age, gender, religion, marital status, and sexual orientation are inappropriate and, in many areas, illegal. Nevertheless, you may get one or more of them. If you do, you have a couple of options. You can simply answer with a question, I'm not sure how that's relevant to my application. Or you can try to answer the question behind the question, like, I don't know whether I'll decide to have children in the near future, but if you are wondering that I'll be leaving my job for an extended period of time, I can say that I am very committed to my career and frankly can't imagine giving it up. That's it. Think positive. No one likes a complainer, so don't dwell on negative experiences during an interview. Even if the interviewer asks you a question like, "What courses have you liked least?" or "What did you like the least about your previous job?" Don't answer the questions, or more specifically, don't answer it as it's been asked. Instead, say something like, "Well, actually I've found something about all of my jobs that I've liked. For example, although I found it to be very tough, I like the fact, then the positive point about the previous job." Or, "I liked the previous job quite a bit, although now I know that I really want to," then about your new job. Make the most of "Tell me about yourself." Many interviewers begin interviews with this question, that "Tell me about yourself." So how should you respond? You can go into a story about where you were born, what your parents do, how many brothers and sisters and dogs and cats you have, and that's okay. But would you rather have the interviewer writing down what kind of dog you have, or why the company should hire you? Consider responding to this question with something like, "Well, obviously I could tell you about lot of things, and if I'm missing what you want, please let me know. But the 3 things I think are most important for you to know about me," then your selling points. Then again continue. "I can expand on those little if you like." Interviewer will always say, "Sure, go ahead." Then you say, "Well, regarding the first point," then give your example. "And when I was working for XYZ company, I," then example of your another selling point, etc. This strategy enables you to focus for first 10 to 15 minutes of the interview on all of your key selling points. The "Tell me about yourself" question is a golden opportunity, so I advise don't miss it. Follow up the interview. Write a thank you note after every interview. Type each note on paper or send them by email depending upon the interviewer's preferences. Customize your notes by referring specifically to what you and the interviewer discussed. For example, "I was particularly excited about," then your interest, or "You're glad to hear," "what you said about." Handwritten notes might be better if you are thanking a personal contact for helping you in your job search. Whatever method you choose, notes should be sent within 48 hours of the interview. To write a good thank you note, you'll need to take time after each interview to write down a few things about what the interview said. Also, write down what you could have done better in the interview and make adjustments before you head off for your next interview. Don't give up. If you have had a bad interview for a job that you truly think would be a great fit for you, not just something you want badly, don't give up. Write a note, send an email, or call the interviewer to let him or her know that you think that you did a poor job of communicating, why you think this job would be a good match. Reiterate what you have to offer the company and say that you would like an opportunity to contribute. Whether this strategy will get you a job offer depends upon the company and on you. But one thing is for sure, if you don't try, your chances are exactly 0. We have seen this approach work on numerous occasions, and we encourage you to give it that last shot. I think after working on these points diligently, you will surely be able to give your job interview successfully. That's all from this video, guys. I hope you find this video informative and it might help you to get success in your job interview. For more such informative videos, subscribe TargetStudy YouTube channel. And to get regular notifications, hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.